Hello and welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're talking about Stockport County today as they take on Morecambe tomorrow. Saturday kick-off. It's a massive game in League 2 for Stockport County. I always say it's a massive game because I think in League 2 every game is a big game. It's always a big opportunity. You're always scrapping for 3 points because there's so many games in League 2. You can have a really good run like Stockport County have had, and there's still teams right behind us now. And if we're not careful, if we continue to have a few bad results, then before you know it, we lose top spot. There's 5 points between us and Wrexham at the moment, but that can easily be made up if Stockport County can, continue to slip up like we have done. But before we get into the preview about Morecambe versus Stockport County, of course, I just want to let people know we're trying to get to 500 subscribers before Christmas. If we can make that possible, if you don't already subscribe to the channel, make sure you do subscribe, and of course, get liking the video as well. And as always, get involved in the comments section on your thoughts of the preview, your thoughts ahead of Morecambe versus Stockport County. But as I say, let's get into the game then. Let's talk about Morecambe. First of all, 12th in League 2 so far this season. They've not had the best results over the last few weeks. They've scored 26 goals in League 2 so far this season, but they've conceded 28, so they've got a -2 goals difference. They haven't had, as I said, they've not had the best, the best last few weeks for Morecambe in League 2. They have not won a game in League 2 since the end of October when they beat AFC Wimbledon 4-1 at home. That was on the 28th of October. Since then, they've had 3 away league matches and just the 1 home match in League 2. Of course, I think one of the games was postponed. They had picked up a cup, an FA Cup win. I think it was against Lincoln away from home. I could be wrong on that. So it's not been the best few weeks for Morecambe. That's, I think, fair to say, and I think Morecambe fans will agree with me on that. Another worry as well, I suppose, for Morecambe coming into this game. They of course were beaten badly by Wrexham just a few weeks ago. Of course, conceding 6 goals, losing 6-0. 25th of November, I think it was. Could be wrong on the date again. But Morecambe have only beaten one of the current top half of the table once this season. They've only beaten one team, and I think that was AFC Wimbledon when they beat them 4-1, as I said, at the end of October. They have faced 8 teams in the current top half of the table, and of course just won once. So that doesn't make great reading for Morecambe going into this game against Stockport County, as I say, have been a difficult spell as of late, but they're still at the top of the table, and as we've just said, their form against the current top half of the table so far this season has not been great. I suppose a bright spark for Morecambe may be their young striker, Michael Mellon. He is Morecambe's top scorer in League 2 so far this season. The 19-year-old has scored 10 goals in 17 matches in League 2. It's a promising record for a young player, but I'm sure with the form they're in at the moment, the position they're in the table at the moment, the form he's in individually, there may be teams at the top half of the table looking at him in January. Another promising stat, though, for Morecambe is that 7 of his 10 goals so far this season have come at home. So, of course, on home soil against Stockport County tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be relishing the opportunity to try and get a goal against a team that's at the top half of the table. But one thing is for sure, Morecambe will need him or someone else to get a goal early on for Morecambe, because they don't have the best record in terms of conceding first. I mean, they have 0 wins after going a goal behind in League 2 so far this season, so it's going to be vital that they make sure to get the first goal. So as I've just sort of laid that all out, Morecambe's situation at the moment in League 2, how confident are Morecambe fans that they can get a result against Stockport County tomorrow? Have you seen something in the performances that suggest you've got a good chance? I mean, for me personally, I'd say that the 6-0 defeat to Wrexham just a few weeks ago doesn't look great. Of course, Stockport County haven't been in that sort of vibrant form that we have been in maybe earlier in the season, but it's still Stockport County. We're still top of the table, and we still have some serious attacking power behind us. Granted, of course, Louis Barry, who was a big player for us early on, is of course not with us at the moment. I mean, he's not dead, obviously. He's just injured, but he should be back around February, March kind of time. I think again, people might have more information on that than me, but again, conversations to be had whether or not he'll be even part of Stockport County's squad after January. Villa may recall him, and I think we've said that a few times. But one thing is for sure, I think Stockport County will need to try and find a replacement for him in January. I want to get people's thoughts on this. Do you think it's a necessary position to target in January for Stockport County? Do you think a striker could be needed? And and if so, who do you think may be a good target for Stockport County? Again, it's an interesting conversation. In terms of January, who comes in? It'll be interesting to see what kind of quality player we look to bring in, because are we going to try and target a player who may be good enough for League One, with the idea in mind we may be a League One team next season, or do we, persist and try to get a striker we feel could do a job in League Two? It's interesting to get people's thoughts on that as well. So let me know your thoughts on a striker target for Stockport County in January. Do you think it's necessary? And if so, drop us a name in the comments. Of course, we've said that County haven't had the best results over the last few weeks, it's fair to say, but we are still top of the table by 5 points. Obviously, we had the most wins in League Two so far this season. It's kind of expected us being top of the table with 13 wins, but of course 12 of them came in that absolutely fantastic run, which unfortunately came to an end a few weeks ago, and it feels like Stockport County haven't been able to get a win under the belt since that win. Obviously, a few weeks before, Stockport have won 3 of their last 5 league matches, but have not won in their last 2. Stockport have not won a game in all competitions in their last 4, and they have to go back to mid-November to find the last time they won a game. Of course, that 2-0 win over Colchester at Edgeley Park. I think something that Stockport County have done really well though so far this season is clean sheets, and of course it'll probably come as no surprise to people that Ben Hinchcliffe is the top clean sheet, that has the most clean sheets in League 2 so far this season. Of course, Tanto Alafi is our top scorer in League 2 with 12 goals, I think it is, in League 2 so far this season. But goals have been in short supply over the last few weeks, I think it's fair to say. So Stockport County, of course, fallen down the top scorers list over the last sort of month or so. And I just don't think we quite seem to have the same firepower without Louis Barry in the team. I mean, the link-up play between Alafi and Louis Barry, I think that got us 21 goals between them. So, the form they were in was absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, with obviously Louis Barry out injured, Tanto Alafi maybe not playing to his strengths as much over the last few weeks with a bit of change in personnel. We don't seem to have them same type of strikers that maybe some other teams in League 2. I'm going to give a list of players here. Of course, you've got Jake Young, who's top scorer in League 2 so far this season with Swindon, 16 goals in 19 games. Macaulay Langstaff with, of course, Notts County, 14 goals in 20 games. Matt Smith with Salford, 14 in 20. Davis Kayla Dunn, I think it is. Mansfield, of course, 11 goals in 19 matches. It is less than Tanto Alafi, but it's another promising player who has got goals in League 2 so far this season. And of course, Elliot Lee of Wrexham, of course, the attacking midfielder, 11 goals in 20 matches as well. It's a promising record, but another thing to highlight as well about these strikers is they're younger, the younger players getting on the score sheet. I mean, they're not all sort of 19 or 20, but they're all under 30, apart from Matt Smith, who of course is 34. Again, I want to get people's thoughts on that. Do you think it's a fair enough assessment to say that maybe Stockport County don't have the same goals in them without Louis Barry in the team? Do you think it is a problem? Do you think it is maybe a position we might have to recruit in January? And as I say, who would people want to target? Of course, Nick Powell as well looked like he had an injury against Wigan in the EFL Trophy midweek. I think it was a hamstring injury, I think, from what I read. So that could be a bit of an issue. I mean, how do people feel Nick Powell's been? It feels like it's not really got going yet, at Stockport County. Had a good performance against Salford last week, but just hasn't really been able to kick on. Of course, came off earlier than I think he would have liked against Salford. Of course, then got the injury against Wigan midweek as well. So it's been an unfortunate time for him, and hopefully it's not too serious, and hopefully he can get in the team, because we need to see that quality. Obviously, when we signed him in the summer, we felt a player like him would get us over the line in League 2 this season. Of course, we've not really needed him too much so far, and we are top of the table without him really having too much influence. But he may still be that key player that helps us get over the line. As we get further into the season, it's going to get more difficult. We've seen that over the last few weeks. We've had a few difficult defeats. A few games that we've ended up drawing that we probably should have won. And it has been a frustrating period, but as I say, we have to be grateful for the results, performances we had, when we were on that incredible run, and I'm sure we will get back on it. But I suppose the slight worry would be Morecambe. They're not a top quality team in terms of, they're decent. They're obviously in the top half of the table just about, but we are not performing how we should be, and I think the worry as well is, as I say, Morecambe are not, they're not exactly a Wrexham or Notts County or Mansfield, are they? They are a team that is probably just creeped into the top half of the table. So that therefore it means it is a sort of opposition, a kind of opposition that Stockport County should really be winning well and truly. And I suppose the worry has been that a lot of the games we've failed to win in over the last few weeks has been against opposition that really hasn't hasn't really had that, that serious quality, and probably teams we should be beating in terms of league position. So that is a slight worry for me with Stockport County tomorrow. But I'm hopeful we can get a good win. As I say, performance is really not a priority at the moment. Performance would be nice, but it's more about getting results on the board. And obviously, I'm not going tomorrow, but for those fans who are going, hopefully it is a good game, and hopefully 3 points on the board to come back to Stockport with. Because as I say, league table at the moment, I mean, if we just look at it for a second, obviously we're first, obviously 5 points clear of Wrexham, but it is getting very difficult now because we are starting to see Wrexham get in and around us in the table. It's a bit of a worry. Of course, Barrow have dropped in as well over the last few weeks as well. They're on the same amount of points as Wrexham. Of course, Mansfield have been ever present at the top so far this season. They're a threat. They've got a game in hand as well. So again, even Crewe and Notts County and teams like that, Gillingham even, there's threats there in League Two at the moment, and Stockport County have to be wary. Of course, we've got to get a few players back from injury, but I think more importantly, we need to get some form of firepower back in the team, because Paddy Madden has become more of a creative type player. Cal Wootton has not been getting the goals as much as he'd like over the last few weeks. The same with Tanto Alafi, and of course Louis Barry out injured. It is a bit of a worry for Stockport County, but I'm sure it won't be too much of a worry, and hopefully we can get a good win against Morecambe tomorrow. So as always, guys, give me your score prediction against Morecambe tomorrow. Are we going to win the game, and if so, by how many goals? Maybe you think we're going to lose the game. Again, by how many goals? So let me know your score prediction for the game tomorrow. Let me know your general feeling around Stockport County at the moment. Of course, we've got Aldershot in the FA Cup replay next Wednesday as well. Let me know your thoughts on that. And of course, let me know your thoughts on who Stockport County, if they should be looking for a player in January, who that player may be. Get your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. As I say, we're trying to get to 500 by Christmas. If we could do that, that'd be fantastic. So don't forget to subscribe, like, get involved in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.